Varsity Club, welcome back to another classic. This week is going to be a tough one, but it's also super important because we've got some big prospects visiting. The prospects that are coming in are Patrick McDonald, which a lot of you guys have been following and caring about a ton. So again, huge game. Kendall Owens, and then we're going to see Aiden Bailey. McDonald, obviously, we're leading, and I think we'll be perfectly fine if this goes really well. I think the chances of us landing him are honestly pretty good. Kendall Owens, we're also currently in the lead for, and if you sort of look at the top schools portion, we went up plus 495 last week. So I think we're going to be in a really good area. We have, again, his visit this week. We should dominate and get to a really good spot. And by the time Nebraska has their thing, I think we'll still be pretty much in the lead without any issues at all. And then let's not forget our kicker here, Aiden Bailey, who would be obviously coming in for Kirk Hancock next year. Again, if we can lock up a good kicker like we had before with Hancock, that's all good with me. So let's make sure we get all three of these prospects. Let's get a good game. From a top 25 poll standpoint, Notre Dame is still absolutely dominating. They have literally not lost a game, and it's the same for Clemson and Miami, who are all still undefeated at this point. USC is ahead of us. They go from number 8 to number 4. They beat number 12 Nebraska, whereas we struggle to beat an unranked Illinois. I get it. The team up north ends up being one position behind us. Arizona State goes from 15 to 7, one of the biggest jumps this week. They didn't even play anybody. I don't even know how they went up, but I guess because they're undefeated, they had a bye week or whatever. They're getting a lot of love. Florida State falls back 4 points with a big loss to Notre Dame. Again, only by 7, but still, they needed to get that game if they wanted to jump into that top 5. Texas to UNC are rounding out your top 10. You see Ohio State goes up to number 15. Virginia is now going to stay at number 19. They have a big game against Georgia Tech coming up this week. Florida drops back 8 points. Navy is now in the top 21 still with an undefeated record at 5-0, as is Indiana, who goes up 6 spots with a 5-0 record. And then you have Purdue going from 21 to 25 because they lost to Penn State again in a close one. And from a Heisman standpoint, the top 3 spots literally haven't moved yet. Barr had again a solid week last week. We see Robinson from Notre Dame again riding his heels. He's probably going to win Heisman at some point in his career, as good as he already is. You have Johnny Turner, and you see Jason Brown from Boise, as well as Ryan Douglas, who we met last year against from Michigan, as well as this year as well, climbing back his team as they get a 10-point victory against Rutgers. We are hitting week number 8 of the season, so I want to quickly give you guys sort of an update on where some of these guys are from a statistical standpoint. Thornton is about 1,500 yards in the season, 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Again, not exactly ideal, but there's progress. On the ground, Barr should be on pace to hit 1,000 yards in today's game, which is huge. He's got 15 rushing touchdowns in the year, which again, is massive. Thornton's ran for 278 in a touchdown. Stewart's only had 5 touchdowns this year, a little under 200 yards. Again, we'll start ramping up his production throughout the year, but again, we don't want to take away too much from Barr as long as he's putting up good numbers. Jason Mart does lead us in receptions though with 24, 291 yards and 1 touchdown. Jeremy Willis is one of the few receivers that actually have multiple receiving touchdowns this year. We have spread the ball around an insane amount, but we really haven't had the production from the passing side that we've had in previous years. RJ Riley's got 17 for 252. Baker, again, 17 receptions. Our top 3 receivers are all at 17 receptions with 200 to 300 yards. You see Terrence Williams, 10 for 171 and a touchdown. Jared Gold has 2 touchdowns, as does Matt Wilson. And then it really drops off steeply. Jason Miller, our left guard, is doing a fantastic job. 8 pancakes, not a single sack given up. Xavier Mason's doing well, as is Jared Gold. And then the defensive side, we see Demel Hill, the true freshman Demel Hill, tied for the lead in tackles right now with Stephen Lowe, who again has just been producing every year. From a sack perspective, we're going to see this is Bobby Edwards as well as Mark Mullins, both tied for 5. Corey Brown stepping up big, the redshirt freshman, as is Chris Bass and Stephen Lowe. And then interception-wise, we have a couple of guys with 2 in Tim Wade, Mike Hemphill, and in Matthew Fowler. It's been really a down year for Hemphill and Fowler, but we'll see if they can pick things up. And then let's not forget 2 of our guys that have defensive touchdowns, Matthew Fowler and Mike Hemphill. Both these guys are incredible, but you knew that already. And the last thing on special teams, Kirk Hancock is a perfect 8 for 8 in the season. His longest is 49. From an extra point standpoint, he's only missed 1 this year, which we'll obviously take. Matt Barnes, whatever these punting stats mean, sure, he's had a good year. And then kick returns, Hemphill 7 for 214 with 1 touchdown. And then the punt returns 8 for 83 with no touchdowns. Maybe that'll change. The Big Ten West standings have USC at 6-1. They're absolutely killing it. They've played nothing but conference games this year. We're 3-1 in the conference, again, sitting there in 2nd place. Nebraska behind us, Purdue, Minnesota, and Wisconsin hasn't won a conference game yet. A lot of you guys have been requesting the all-black uniform, so we're bringing them back out. We have not worn them in a while, and I feel like it's a good time to wear them when we're at home and we're playing a game that is going to be tough. We have a literal monsoon going on right now. There is so much rain because there's a hurricane coming up the East Coast, and it's obviously in Ohio, so we're not getting the actual hurricane winds, but we, good Lord, are getting the actual rain that you're seeing across the country. Jason Barr up the middle, gets hit for 4, but he doesn't quite get the first down. Thornton and Barr ready to get things going. We're going right back up the middle. Barr scurries up through the middle, and he does pick up about 5. It's going to be a super interesting game because this rain is going to be an absolute problem as Barr breaks a tackle, shimmies past a couple of guys, and how does he turn that into 9 yards? You're kidding me. A little second and short, staying in shotgun. Thornton a lot of times sees Jared Gold, a little small reception, and we're here for it. It is a little tough to pass deep in this game just because the visibility is really taken away from all this rain and the clouds that are in the sky, and we got to be careful out here, and we nearly throw one as we talk about that. 2nd and 10, Thornton under center. Sees Barr, little quick dump off. Barr making a miss. Barr making him look ridiculous as he gets 14 more. We've really had Jason Barr as a massive part of this game to start just because, good Lord, we need to make sure that we get some little stuff going. That interception we had to start the game last week, we can't really roll around with that. Thornton is throwing one. It's on a roll, and that one goes to Willis. 35 yards later, we're in the end zone. What a throw, what a catch. Cedric Thornton has had issues throwing that ball on the run, but good Lord, what a beautiful pass that was. Absolutely hits Jeremy Willis a little bit behind him, but still ahead of the defender, which is really all that matters. Our guy caught it, and we're in there. And Coleman misses a tackle here. You got to be kidding me, Jake Coleman. DeMel Hill, our leading tackler, starts off with a good wrap up because that could have been a touchdown. We know it's going to be a little spicy, obviously, with the run game today. Guys are going to be slippery, difficult to tackle, but we've got to make sure we lock up. We have struggled even when it's perfect conditions to tackle in the run game. So today has got to be different for us as we see our guys get thrown down. You're kidding me. Chris Bass has to get him, and that's back-to-back first downs. Got Stephen Lowe coming off the edge here. The quarterback's under center. See how tired their running back is. They do not go to him. Coleman's in the backfield, misses on that one, but DeMel Hill has to get the tackle as Gray picks up 14. Wisconsin staying under center now. It's making it really difficult to know when they're passing, when they're throwing, and they end up throwing one, but it's incomplete. 2nd down. The quarterback's gonna end up keeping him. I was just getting ready to say I don't expect him to run very much today, but he picks up 3 there in a design QB read. Matt Lemon has actually not run a lot this season, so we didn't expect that to be part of their game plan today, but they, switch things up a little bit. This one's thrown past Hemphill. Hemphill gives up the big gain, and he's in the end zone. Kyle Watson leaning left, right, whatever he had to do. He burns Hemphill and gets in the end zone. So just like that, Wisconsin ties the ball game up with an unbelievable throw for Matt Lemon, who we hadn't really seen from really much deep. It was really short passes or across the middle that he torches with. Hemphill has definitely struggled in coverage this year, which is the complete opposite of what he had been. He was making so many plays, but it really feels like teams are trying different route combinations to really torch him, and it's honestly been working out against him this season. He's struggled a little bit in press coverage. He's been good in it sometimes. We just can't really figure out what exactly is going on. There's rumors of a position change possibly for Hemphill. Maybe he goes completely to offense. We don't know what we have to do, but we got to make sure Hemphill's doing something positive. But at the same time, even the best defensive backs are going to get beat at some time. It's just a matter of figuring out why it's happening and hopefully fixing the issues that are going on. 2nd and short now. Jeremy Willis, the big fella, is going to catch that one and trucks a guy, but he holds on to his ankles and brings him down after 19. 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Thornton, not really liking what he's seen. He's got to get rid of it because that is the fastest number 64 of all time. 2nd and 10, Thornton again. Little play action, trying to find his guys. They're picking up a lot of the guys that he wants. He's still looking, doesn't like what he sees, and ultimately we had to get rid of it. Wisconsin definitely realizes that a big part of our game, especially in the passing side, is sort of extending it a little bit. Thornton likes to rotate out or roll out a little bit and then use that really to his advantage. But they didn't realize that this halfback screen was coming. This Barr nearly gets what he wants, but we're still short. It's a field goal coming up. Now, one of the requirements we needed today was a 40-yard field goal. We're going to try to get this one to drop in. The wind is blowing behind us a little bit. We need this one. It's going to be close. That one is up and good. We're going to get a studio update here, but look, that is one thing we needed as Ohio State is literally tied with Texas State. What is happening over there? There's been a wild amount of upsets this season. Teams that should not be losing to lower-ranked teams are just in a blender this year. It's been pretty wild to watch. Tim Wade trying to come up here for a big tackle. He's struggling a little bit, but Matthew Fowler wraps him up after 4. 2nd and 6. The rain is still coming down crazy as ever. Stephen Lowe watching the running back out of the backfield. They end up going to him. Lowe gets a little bit lost, though, but Coleman's there to stand him up. Big play coming up here. Got to imagine this run on 3rd and short. They don't. They throw a screen pass. It goes way too far. We might be seeing a punt coming. Pretty hard to see, but Hemphill's got plenty of room here. Assuming this punt goes deep enough with our 3-point lead right now, Hemphill could really do some damage and get us a good field position. This punt's pretty solid. They got good coverage at the moment. Hemphill tries to bounce back, but he runs into his own guy. Runs into the defender pretty quickly. The rain continues to pour pretty heavily down. We're just like gold in motion. We want to stick to the run game as long as we get some blocks, but Barr doesn't really have much to do there. Only 2. Passing game has been pretty huge so far. Thornton again, taking his time. Sees his guy in RJ Riley. Riley makes a move, and Riley's going to keep it going. He's got 46 behind him. Can he catch up to him in time? He hits his ankles, but it's not enough. RJ Riley makes a move, and good Lord, was he gone immediately after. That's just a big-time player making a big-time play. RJ Riley got a chance in the rain, slipped right by his defender, and was absolutely gone after that one. Just like Watson is as he catches that one-handed grab on Hemphill. First quarter's winding down, about 20 seconds left. Coleman comes in there, nearly gets to the quarterback, can't quite get it, but we end up wrapping up their guy, and they get 6. A 17-point first quarter is something we have not seen in a super long time. The defense is doing their job. The offense pretty much doing their job, too. We have given up some yards we don't necessarily want, but we're at least getting some shutdowns here. Jamel Hill is going to be tasked to be in coverage. Coleman sending the blitz directed to the middle, gets to the quarterback, but it's not in time as Jamel Hill does give up the grab. First down again for Wisconsin. They're staying in shotgun. Watch the underneath stuff. The quarterback seems a little lost the moment he throws when he's testing Hemphill. Hemphill's completely lost in the rain, doesn't get up, and Kyle Watson gets another one. That's one of those vintage Hemphill plays where it's a jump ball. He usually sees it. He gets his eyes on it, hands up, and it's usually going the other way for a whole lot of points on our side. Instead, he doesn't, and now they're inside the red zone. Super important drive for Wisconsin. They know they need to get points on this one. They cannot get a field goal. They need a touchdown here. They go underneath to the wide receiver screen, but look at Mark Mullins extend and get him after 3. Watch in the middle again on 2nd and 7. They got a couple of guys lined up on the left-hand side. Watching the tight end across the middle, too. He throws one, and Stephen Lowe's there, but he doesn't even see it. The rain is making the visibility impossible for these guys. Got to get a stop here on the goal line. Lemon looking for something. He throws one and it goes into the stands. They're in a pretty heavy goal line formation right now. They go with the run. This goes to the fullback. The big fella runs over Matthew Fowler, and he was not having any of it. Andre Hester, he meant business on that one. Thornton and company know they definitely have their work cut out for him right now. Hit him with the play action fake. Thornton panics a little bit, throws that one, and it ultimately goes out of bounds. 2nd and 10 here. Wide receiver option's been really good for CVU this year. Get one guy to bite, get a second guy to bite. Thornton pitches it out the absolute last second, sacrificing his body, and Willis picks up 16 because of it. Going back to the run game this time, something that won't make our QB sacrifice his body, and it's only 1 yard for Barr up the middle. The run game's definitely still been struggling. We're trying to find some gaps for Barr and company, but it's just, again, Wisconsin's a little bit more prepared than we are at the moment. Even though Barr's making guys miss, it's just not quite enough. Big 3rd and 4 here, 5 minutes left in the first half. Got a guy underneath. This one's going to be RJ Riley, who went for a big gain last time. Only gets 6 here, but it's super effective. Thornton goes under center. Blitz coming off the edge here. Thornton's absolutely feeling it. Does see a guy, but they have a miscommunication as Baker cuts back to the middle. 2nd and 10. Thornton with a clutch move. He's got a guy underneath. It's going to be Willis, and Willis is going to fight through all the way to the 30. Willis has been fantastic in the first half these last couple of weeks, putting up big numbers. Not being as involved in the second half because we have been more run-heavy in some of these games, but good lords have been fun to watch him go to work. Thornton doesn't see anything he likes. He is going to get what looks to be a first down as he gets 10. CVU's had a really good drive here, going right back to Barr. Feels like an opportunity for him, but those big defensive linemen in Wisconsin aren't having it. 2nd and 9, staying in shotgun. Thornton is absolutely breathing super heavy. Throws one deep, and it's right to Lumpkin, who's going to pick that one off at the goal line. Minor's going to whip on the tackle. We end up seeing looks to be I think Stewart come in possibly for that tackle, but it was a gamble. It was in traffic, and Wisconsin gets it right back. Again, the first real mistake we've seen from Thornton today. He's been good. He had 2 touchdowns, 180 yards before that play ultimately happens. But again, Wisconsin now with plenty of time to get a good drive going. 2nd and 6 yards to go. They go under center. They hand it off to the running back. Tim Wade gets picked up at the block at the last second. And again, Lonnie Young keeps fighting for big yards. He's killing it on the ground. Young is currently averaging a little over 8 yards per carry. It's not the most we've ever seen against us, but it is incredibly demoralizing to watch this guy go big gain after big gain, and these blocks to be thrown the way they are. A lot of similar formations assigned for Wisconsin. Watching the receivers out, they throw one, but it's way over there to the sideline. Big play coming up here, 3rd and inches. Can we get the stop? Lowe trying to get his best blitz in there. That ball goes off the back of a lineman, and that's not going to work at all for Wisconsin. So a drive that was honestly great for us, and then all of a sudden went really bad, is now not going to hurt us as much. 4th and inches, Wisconsin opts the punt. They are a little bit scared of turning the ball over deep in their own territory, and Hemphill's going to have the ball with a couple of blocks and some room to work. Hemphill cutting up, gets to almost the 50. It looks like a 17-yard return. We will take that. Another week, another close game for Cascade Valley. First down here, Thornton makes that quick check. Sees this guy, Willis. Willis again tries to break that tackle, but can't after 16. Absolutely outgaining Wisconsin, but we have to convert when we get into the red zone. That's been the one thing that's biting us right now. Is Barr looks a little slow out of the backfield there, but somehow does get 4. 2nd and 6. A lot of people blitzing this time for Wisconsin. We do have a guy open. It's across the middle. It's R.J. Riley in the end zone for the 2nd time today. This time it's a 33-yarder, much shorter, but still just as effective. Riley has just been thriving today. Unbelievable plays that have turned into massive gains for us. We're also seeing huge plays as well from Jeremy Willis, but what a hit across the middle. Don't test Dwayne Cole. Wisconsin does want to get some points to the board here. 2nd and 10 for them. They are down a little bit. They throw one to the sideline, and it's just past Hemphill again for a gain of 11. Now, they are going to go ahead and review this one. I still think he was ultimately in bounds. We'll ultimately see what they say here. That left foot is close, but it's absolutely in. You only need 1 in college. That one's going to stand. We've both equally gained 10 first downs today, but we have a 10-point lead. Our team has just gotten a little bit more lucky. We've converted a little bit more, and our defense is still a little bit more tall than what theirs has. They go for a little crossing route again, and it's going to be picked up as Hemphill gets run over for 7. QB's the only one in the backfield. We're just trying to make sure nothing gets deep past us. They go underneath. A lot of guys ready for that one as Tim Wade comes through with a big hit. 3rd and short. Can we get a stop? QB's under center. We're going to move Gray over into the slot. We got a couple of guys there, but no one can get there in time. He turns the corner. Are you kidding me? We missed that. Coleman can't quite get there. Lowe's not going to get there. In Wisconsin, they're right back in this game. And with 39 seconds left, we do have 3 timeouts. The clock obviously stops on first downs. Hemphill had a pretty good return of about 23 yards, so we want to try to test things out a little bit. Thornton immediately under pressure. He's going to turn up the field, and Thornton's got some yards here. He does get out of bounds completely untouched. I'm not mad at it. Our offensive line is getting better, but we obviously are playing with a conference that is going to have people that are ready to go every step of the way. So as good as our offensive line is, it just has to be better. We end up seeing R.J. Riley get the first down. We threw that a little bit under, but he does get out of bounds after 14. Riley again with a monster half, 120+ yards today. Multiple touchdowns. You love to see it. First down, 26 seconds. This is going to be close. Thornton, though, does like what he sees, and he's out of bounds again with 10 more. Even a field goal in this drive would be fantastic. We just want to make sure we have points on the board in some capacity. Thornton doesn't like what he's seeing. He's going to try to get out of bounds. He ends up taking a yard loss on that one. Mike Hemphill checks in the game on offense. Always a dangerous threat. Thornton literally running for his life immediately, was trying to wait a little bit longer, but he didn't have much time at all. And one of the worst pieces of news we could have possibly gotten, he's injured. You're not going to be seeing Thornton, at least for this remainder of this half. Hemphill's got to step on him. He throw it over the top. Hemphill's got him, and Hemphill's going to get in there. He dragged his foot at the last second. Mike Hemphill, 35-yard touchdown. We see you. So we find out that Thornton has a strained back. He's going to be out for another quarter, so we'll see him obviously in the 4th quarter. But good Lord, what a throw by Joe Kendrick. I think when you see stuff like that, we might be able to keep him out of the game. The biggest question we're going to have, though, is can our defense step up? Can they get some stops again and make things significantly easier on our backup quarterback who's trying to make sure we win this game? Coming through with the blitz here. Coleman trying to get into the backfield. Can't quite shake it. Wade, though, it's a hard hit, but again, we're giving up first downs too often. Stephen Lowe's going to patrol the middle. We end up going with a little bit of a play here. Davy Jones' locker is going to miss on that, but Tim Wade doesn't miss very many tackles. 2nd and 11 here. They have a heavy offensive line at the moment. Got to expect a run coming. It's part of the reason why we're giving up so many yards is because they have dudes that are just able to get to the 2nd level unbelievably well because we don't have enough guys in the box. We are trying to switch it up a little bit more by having some more guys blitz, also some guys just sort of be there in the defensive front. Whenever we have a 3-man front, it typically hasn't worked out super well. 2nd and 8. Lemon looking for something. He goes for a QB run. He saw something and he found it, but he does get stopped short by about an inch or so. Tim Wade with his 6th tackle of the ball game. We're going to need a whole lot more if we're going to win this one from him. Lowe sends the blitz. They throw a pass, but it's an errant pass. What are they going to do here? Down 11 in the 3rd quarter on 4th and inches. They opt to take the points, which it's interesting. This will put them down by 8, which means a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, ties this thing right back up. But that's assuming that our offense is able to be stopped. This one's up. This one is good. Now it goes through to cut the lead to 8. Joe Kendrick obviously staying in the game right now. Want to give Thornton as much time as humanly possible to recover because obviously that dude being healthy is super important. Kendrick has obviously shown flashes. He's pretty similar in terms of how he plays to what we saw from Seth Sanders years ago, where that dude stepped up and became a hero for the team. Jason Barr goes out to the left-hand side, but does get 4. Barr's still struggling to get 4 yards per carry. Again, it's been super difficult these last few weeks, but he's trying his best right now. 2nd and 6. Got something underneath. It's going to be to Williams, who only gets a couple. 3rd and 3, Kendrick again. He's thrown 2 passes, one of them being a touchdown, the other one being the one you just saw. He's back. He's rolling. He sees something, and honestly, he's safe, and he's got it. George Baird in the game to try to block a little bit. He does pick up something, and that honestly helped a little bit because Barr was able to get 8 yards, which is one of his longest runs of the game. 2nd and 2 as Sean Stewart comes in. Stewart, though, not able to find much luck either, as they're not blocking very well at all today. 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Kendrick, the only guy in the backfield. Sees his guy, Riley, who has been killing the defense at the moment. 16 more yards for him. Barr comes back in the game after a brief hiatus. Kendrick hands it right off to him, and Barr's just, it's tough to get through those linemen. Kind of have to imagine with Notre Dame having the #1 record in the nation, the #1 team in the nation, will these games from Barr that haven't been super stellar in terms of his resume end up hurting him in the long run? Kendrick was looking for something, held up for a second, but crossed the line of scrimmage, couldn't throw it, and barely gets anything. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. We've only not converted one single 3rd down. Got a decent chance here, but they immediately saw what we had coming. They were ready for it, and they stopped us in the backfield. Hancock's lining up, and the wind's blowing back a little bit against him right now. He's going to try and make it happen. This one is up. I think he has the distance. That one is down the middle and good. We're going to extend our lead to 11 points. That is a huge kick from the senior. Wisconsin knows time is running out. 3rd quarter's almost over. They need some big plays. They go to their halfback here, but he's lit up on that one. Lonnie Young had nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and just got absolutely destroyed this time by Tim Wade yet again. 2 running backs in the backfield this time. Looks like they're going with a little bit of a QB read. He pitches this one out. DeMel Hill, though, has been so good as a true freshman. Bringing our guys up to press a little bit. They go with the run. They go to the edge, and we have no one ready for him. This dude is breaking another big run. Wade tries to get to him. He can't. We got one hope left in in Hemphill. Fowler's right there as well, and they get him after 60 yards later. Anthony Barrett's had a game. 3 rushes, 100 yards exactly. We have not had an answer for Wisconsin's run game. They've been going to the outside. They've been going up the middle. We just have not been able to find a way to stop them as Tim Wade drags them down after 3. We don't do it very often, but this is the second. This is 2 100-yard rushes in one game. It's about the 2nd or 3rd time we've done it this season. Doesn't happen often, but good Lord, is it happening way too much recently. He throws one, and that was nearly backwards. Especially our coverage at the last moment, which honestly could be a giant L here. Praying to God they don't run. Lemon staying under center. They got a heavy front. Gonna slide our guys to the left. It's gonna be a pass. What does he have open? He throws one, and that one is tipped. Chris Bass doesn't have any hands, but good Lord, what a play to deflect that. So that was a major play because that's the difference between them being down just a little versus still being down a lot. They're gonna line up for a field goal here to give them 26 points. That will make it an 8-point game, and we still got a comfortable lead, but the offense has to do their job. Last play of the 3rd quarter for us. Again, we're gonna bring Thornton back in immediately to start the 4th quarter. RJ Riley, though, getting some blocks, and look at the dude. I'm telling you, this guy has potential to maybe win a Heisman in his own right. He'll be a senior next season, and if he comes back, this dude could do it. Thornton's coming back in the game. He seems to be feeling a little bit better. He got a cortisone shot in the sideline, and we're just going to hold on hope that he's able to do something. But we'd also love to hold on hope to our running game being effective. Wisconsin is basically dialed in and said, if you're going to beat us, it's going to be through the pass game, and that's scary, to be honest. Thornton ready to go again. He's going to test one. That's over the top of a defender. He didn't even see it. He just back turned. Terrence Williams has the speed, and ladies and gentlemen, he's got the answer in the end zone. Thornton's first pass, after being out for an entire quarter and a half, ends up being for 6. Every time Wisconsin gets close, we've had an answer for him, and that's huge. We need more of that. Made their guy cut up. We see Stephen Lowe set the edge on the outside, and Woods only had 1 yard a game. The biggest thing we're trying to do is just stop them from getting to the outside. If we can force them to come back inside on a lot of these runs, we're in such a good position. Their quarterback tries to go somewhere, but the defense was ready for him. A loss of 3 on that play. Defense looking for a big stop. Playing the pass the entire way. They go with a halfback draw we were not expecting it, and good Lord, Jay Coleman killed a man. What a hit. That play is going to make it 4th and 1, though. What are they going to end up doing here? DeMel Hill coming up into the box. They're going to bring their tight end over. We're going to shift our lineman over slightly. Coleman bringing the heat, gets a hit, and then he still makes the throw. What a dot by Lemon despite getting absolutely obliterated. Another heavy front. We're going to watch the run on the left-hand side. Lemon makes a quick adjustment. Looks like it's going to the right. We got a couple of guys there, and Mullins is able to get him after 2. You got to imagine, though, if you are Wisconsin, you can't keep running the football. At some point, you have to start throwing it a little bit more because your team is down 15 late. Lemon all the time in the world. If we could just get to him, that would be amazing, but our linemen aren't able to do anything right now. Watch them running back out of the backfield. They go with a sweep. You got guys there. DeMel Hill can't get him, but Tony Rutledge is able to bring him after 3. The same thing that has been benefiting Wisconsin is also hurting them right now. A consistent run game has been great, but if you're not able to score quickly off of it, it's not exactly doing great. And look at Mark Mullins get in the backfield for a loss of 2. Big 3rd and 9. Can we get a stop? They're in shotguns, so we got to imagine they're passing it this time. Instead of the runs they've been hitting us with, those draws have been deadly. Go across the middle. We got Coleman there for his 9th tackle of the game. He stops him on 4th and 1. Or excuse me, stops him on what is now 4th and 1. Our guys are ready. They're going to halfback screen. Stephen Lowe is there. He can't quite get to him in time. He's still running. This is like Lonnie Young's going to get out of bounds, and he's got a 17-yard grab to show for it. That one really felt like we had an opportunity to intercept that one with Stephen Lowe, but they hit a little bit of a block on the edge. Chipped our guy just enough, and he couldn't really get there to make a play. Wisconsin still got a dog in this fight. They go with the play action. That is nearly broken up and intercepted by Dwayne Cole. 2nd and 10 here. Quarterback's the only guy in the backfield. Watching their tight end close, and this was going to Bernard Harvey, who is able to grab that one. Harvey gets it before he goes out of bounds, and ladies and gentlemen, Wisconsin's in huge trouble. Both teams have had over 450 yards of offense in total. Almost 1,000 yards offense between 2 teams. That is just, you don't really see that very often. Or I guess I should say you shouldn't see that typically against teams that have very good defenses like we ultimately do. Barr back up the middle again. It's another 1st down. Wisconsin starting to tremble. 3 minutes left. Going right back here. Barr hits him with a spin move. Barr has got some room here. Barr's going to cut one back. Barr keeps him moving, and he stumbles after a huge gain. The best run he's had by far today, which puts him pretty close to 100. And honestly, with the rain pouring down the way it is, the chance of injury here, and know that we can just milk the clock essentially, we're bringing in some backups. Stewart's going to be in here as well as Kendrick to finish out this game. 2 minutes left in the game. Going to hand this one off to Stewart, who's looking to have some big plays, but it's just, again, too tough to get out to the edge or up the middle against his defense. Wisconsin has used a timeout. 3rd and 10, Kendrick, who's been effective in the pass game today. He's going to throw one right to Gatewood. We thought he was going to be a little bit deeper than that. He wasn't. Stewart gets another tackle on this season, which, again, you never want to see. So the only incompletion that Kendrick's going to throw today is a pass that gives Wisconsin a little bit of life. They still have 2 timeouts. This is still something that's possibly feasible for them. Underneath, Tim Wade, though, ready to tackle. Setting a blitz on 2nd and 4. Lemon feeling the pressure. Jake Coleman is there to get a sack. He's had a monster afternoon today. 3rd and a whole lot of yards. Wisconsin is not using their timeouts at the moment. They feel like they needed to catch their breath somewhat. Got a couple of guys. They check underneath. They weren't going for the 4th down. I mean, the 4th down conversion yet. They were just playing 4-down territory. They've went for it twice on 4th down. They've actually converted both of those. We'll see if they can get one here. They're still alive. They did use a timeout in the previous play. They throw over here to the sideline, and it's Lonnie Young who is wide open. We let him go, and he made us pay. Definitely needing a stop. They're back at shotgun. 2 receivers each side. Nothing across the middle. They are bringing a guy back across the middle, though. Coleman steps up big to cover that one, and they go to Watson, who has torched us all game. 27 yards later, Kyle Watson keeps this game interesting. Now, this is where the interesting part comes. They do have 1 timeout. They're going to go for an onside kick, assuming, but they're going to go for the 2-point conversion here to make this game interesting. If they don't get this, that's all she wrote. Lemon takes his time, throws a slant, and it's Matthew Fowler getting torched. Mario Walker. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So our inability to close down games absolutely steps up and rears its ugly head. We could have just ran the ball, made them waste their timeouts, but we did not, and we got a little bit scared. Anthony Minor recovers that one, and we're going to walk out here with a W, thank God. A game that was way too close for comfort, and we aren't doing ourselves any, due diligence with the judges of the overall voting. But you know what? Thornton goes 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, had a good amount of carries today for some big yards as well. A game that we won, but not a game we should be proud of. This game was wild, over 1,000 yards of total offense. We see Thornton go for 300, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 sack. Kendrick was honestly pretty good in relief, but again, that 1 interception kind of tainted that, but he still was pretty strong, I'd say, today. We see Barr go for exactly 100. We didn't have a single rushing touchdown today, but Thornton and Stewart all combined to do a very good job, I would offer this afternoon. We see Riley go for 5 for 139 with 2 touchdowns. Barr had 27. Willis had 87 with 1 touchdown. Williams had 62 with 1 touchdown. And Hemphill had the probably catch of the year on a 35-yarder that was absolutely wild for a touchdown. On the defensive side, Jay Coleman was everywhere. 10 big tackles for him, 2 for a loss, had a sack as well. Tim Wade had 9, Demel Hill had 6 today. From a sack perspective, we only had 1 from Jay Coleman. Interceptions, we saw 1 by Bernard Harvey, who's mostly known for hard hitting, but today still made a great play in the air. Our inability to blow out bad teams and close out big games is starting to scare me a little bit. We haven't really played a good team in a couple of weeks now, and these bad teams have been way too close for comfort. Single score wins are not going to help us, especially in the polls. You saw a couple of weeks ago, we ended up falling back in the polls despite winning. If we don't have some big blowout games, I don't want to leave it up to the committee because they don't trust us. And honestly, I don't know if I trust us either. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.